of Paige Dansinger, and we are going to be looking at some fantastic creative work. And it's great to be here with all of you. My name is Evo Haining. I am the principal at Reality Craft. I serve as VP of the board at XR Guild, and I also have been building what you see behind me at XR Guide. So I would encourage all of you to go ahead and let us know if you are here in the chat. There is chat, and hopefully we are able to see you in conversation today. If not, that's okay, and we will do our best to stay in conversation long term, whether that's on LinkedIn or on YouTube. So today we are going to take just a bit of a look at how we create virtual spaces and virtual worlds. And my guest today is the amazing Paige Dansinger. So we're going to bring in Paige here and have a little bit of a conversation, not just about creativity and XR Guide, but hi, Paige, great to see you. I'm going to just
Hello,
very
hello.
quickly show everyone a little bit of what we've been doing and creating together. You are one of the featured experiences as a curator at XR Women and also at Virtual Worlds Museum. Could you tell us just a little bit of the kinds of worlds and experiences and things that you personally enjoy creating in your work?
Absolutely. Evo, well, thank you for mentioning my work for XR Women's Museum. Additionally, I have built well over, I don't know, like 300 worlds or so under Better World Museum, which started as a brick and mortar museum in 2014. Since 2019, we have been solely in VR, creating spaces, including our signature VR Garden initiative, where over 4,000 or so people drew in a VR garden. And that led into community world building through Women in Horizon, Better World Museums, Artist in Residence program, where artists in residence would uh, um, break down a museum by deconstructing its walls and then building a better world, to Horizon Art Museum. Along with those initiatives, I've built futurist gardens on the moon, to the last 2 years being dedicated to Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water, leading a team along with Tink's Playground, another builder, that we've built over 8 games of underwater adventures, and just recently won a community award at the Reality Hackathon by MIT, Reality Hack at MIT's Community Hackathon in December with Remix Reef, one of Remix Reef's NPC that is automated through AI assistance, is a coral reef influencer who is on her way to the moon with the Bitbasil space program on the Griffin 1 space launch.
Wow. So you've been building everything from coral worlds and Remix Reef to the Better World Museum, if I'm right. Is that correct?
That's right. That's correct.
And I'm noticing that our LinkedIn Live page is not working correctly. I just wanted to let you know we have folks watching on YouTube, but LinkedIn I am still working on.
Okay.
And that is, I'm using a new solution today, and so we are testing, but I'm noticing that our LinkedIn page is not configuring properly. So I'm going
Okay.
to go ahead and get this YouTube channel URL for our colleagues. And then
Mhm.
I'm going to go ahead and share it on LinkedIn so that they have it. Um,
That's wonderful. I'll tell you a little bit first about our exhibit, Vibrancy is Praxis, at the XR Women Museum on the Frame platform. It is a multi platform exhibit with 15 artists from 4 continents. Two-thirds of our artists are diverse creators,
mhm.
and our work, the thread that ties all of these works together, is that vibrancy is a praxis of deep embedded refusal to disappear. So please check out the exhibition. And in the meantime, we are gearing up to create our next exhibit. Here's a call out for our Garden in Full Bloom exhibit. And that will include an ongoing community garden initiative. So if you have a 3D asset, sound art, a texture, a drawing, send it my way. And it will be included in this like immersive community garden, which will also be shown and be part of a upcoming community art, like a public art film festival. So it has multi layers, but it's all about sharing the story of us building a garden together. Today, I'm really excited to be here to create a forest. It's Earth, it was recently Earth Day, and I always love to pay an homage in some way creatively in XR. In the past, we've hosted Earth Day hackathons inside of Horizon at the Horizon Art School. We've hosted climate activities with in other worlds, as well as shared our coral worlds at many other events. And some of these you can see in presentations in different times and places.
Well, I love your work, number one.
Thank
It's
you.
always been exciting to me. We are certainly having some sort of live stream issues where it's going live to YouTube, but not to LinkedIn. So I just wanted to
Okay.
note that we are going to go ahead and do the entire demo,
Okay,
and you're
let's
going
do
to
it.
share with us how you do the work. And then we'll
Okay.
go ahead and reshare this on LinkedIn as well so that people can still watch it there as a recording. It will not have the Q&A that we had hoped for.
Okay.
So my apologies. I am using
That's
Riverside for
okay.
the first time, and that is one of those things that happens as we go.
That's
So if you
great.
want to screen share with us, we're going to be going into the Horizon, what's Meta's desktop builder, correct?
We are. We're exploring vibe coding today, and you invited me to share a bit of my process, and I appreciate this invitation so much. Lately, I started my world building journey as a in VR really, and you well, okay, no, in 2005 I started my art history program, and I didn't know how to write a paper at all. Not at all. And it was really, I just got a computer. I was a little late bloomer. And I was supposed to write my first paper, and instead I clicked on Second Life. And before it was the end of the night, I had built a museum. In fact, that's kind of how you and I connected, because I built this Better World Museum in Second Life a little bit, and you had
Yeah.
previously built the Better World Gallery. And
Meta
so,
World Island. Yeah.
Better World Island, perfect, yes.
And that was all the way back in like 2005. So that was a long, long time ago.
Long time, okay. So I never really went back in Second Life again, because I ultimately didn't know what to do, and I actually had to learn how to write a paper, which I did. And I graduated, I worked in museums after I got a master for years, but I learned how to world build. First in Rec Room by a bunch of young 15, 13, and 11-year-olds. And then I learned how to, they built a museum for me in Rec Room, Better World Museum version. And then, yes, and then I was a Meta Horizon World's pre-alpha creator. And it's not the only platform that I work on today, but it's one that I love. It's one that if I'm chilling, I grab my computer and I'm always kind of building a world. So here we
Absolutely.
are. I pre-generated. We're going to explore Gen AI today, and these are these tools. I'm able to generate an environment, which I did right before we met today.
Hmm.
I had on LinkedIn. I did a shout out if anyone wanted to suggest anything. And Eva, while we were talking about it, you suggested a forest. So we're starting here with a forest. I love community voices within a project. So if anyone watching on YouTube also has something that you would like me, let's say, to generate a 3D model, the first thing we're going to do actually is generate a sky. So let's start here. When I build, first, I love to think about my environment. And if I start to build in VR, I actually like to start with sound. But here, I always try to get rid of that fog a little bit until I'm ready to use it intentionally. So I just clicked on the sky, and you can see down below there's also those icons. So here we are in sky, and it gives me some prompts, but I know what I want. Let's go for Evo. I believe that you probably love purple clouds, so let's do a
Correct. I do.
happy
I like a good prismatic sky. I like some aurora
with
look. I like color and things that feel hyper real. So I like realism, but I also like the textures of surrealism, hyperrealism, and abstract art too.
surrealistic, cosmic reality. There we go. Happy day with purple sky with aurora and surrealistic cosmic reality and and stars and Milky Way.
So,
All
Paige,
right.
we are inside the world's desktop editor, which is available to all people who want to create inside Meta for 3D worlds. Is that correct?
That's correct. This is super accessible. It's free software.
Mhm.
Here, let's open up a window a little bit. We will come back to our properties panel. What you're seeing is we have all the way to the right, smushed a little bit now, our properties panel. We have our Gen AI panel open first and foremost here working on, and we're able to close that. We also have features here that are able to open a chat history and create a new chat. Sometimes it's really important to create a new chat to remember that so you don't boggle up the mind of your creator or your assistant here. You are the creator. This is your hand in hand friend. So I also kind of forgot
It's
we
almost like a
have
paired programming process. What I'm seeing here is you're acting like the creative director, and then you are sort of hand in hand with the tool to come up with ideas based on that. So it is prompt line coding of a way. So let's see what that came up with.
yeah. So I'm able to test it out and see if it's cosmic and surreal
Oh, I
enough.
love it. It
It
does look.
added that nice Milky Way. And if you love it, let's continue.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Sometimes I will like generate and generate and generate until just that feel of that vibe of that sky is just
Mhm.
right. And
And
once
now
we've
this
decided,
tool, you're not paying for the credits the way I have to in some of the
oh,
other tools,
no,
right?
all of this is free and
Interesting.
accessible. That's right.
Huh.
And I learn something from every builder's world that I enter, whether it's hand built, primitive shapes, or Gen AI, or built in Blender and brought in, or There are multiple ways to create in Horizon as well as experience. So right now you can experience it in VR until June. Let's say I'm just going to click save and apply Skydome so that it saves that. Save and apply. That's working on it, and it's going to add that to my assets. I have all kinds of asset folders. Lately, I'm learning something new called Noesis so I can make mobile games because after uh, June-ish, then Horizon will only be dedicated for mobile game development. And I'm okay with that. I am not going to stop building for VR, which I do with other platforms. I'm currently learning Unity and actually lately I'm getting into like 2D animation. So I'm adding little 2D animation loops into my Noesis like mobile games. I'm just using all tools. And I want you to remember, especially at a time, and I'm speaking to you, audience, right now.
Mhm.
This is from my heart. As platforms come and go, right now there's multiverse, Rec Room, Horizon is changing. But I want everyone to remember that the magic is in you, your hands, your heart, your purpose or creativity or collaboration. The tools will always evolve. If we had the same tools that we had, well, actually, alt spacers would say that we wish we did have those tools. But we ultimately want these tools to evolve. It may or may not be to our liking along the way. And the wonderful thing is that there's so many tools and platforms and ways to create out there. So explore them all. And remember, the magic is in you. The tools will continue to evolve. So that's my little my thought and statement. Now
Thank you
let's
for the
keep
human
creating.
moment because it does help to humanize these things so that they don't feel so foreign. Like there's a lot of AI hate out there, and I some of it is very well earned. But some of these tools have been evolving certainly through machine learning research, but not specific to just generative AI. So this is a form of generative AI, but it isn't necessarily the kinds of things that you would have heard of previously. These models are still built on information that was gleaned from every corner of the internet. And so some of those rules in terms of is this ethical or appropriate to use, the same generative rules apply here, right? Please use at your own. uh, think about your use before you jump in, and think about how to enable your creativity to create something that hasn't been seen or created before. Because that's where you can push the envelope and try and do something that's more than just sort of a copy of something that we've seen in prior worlds. I'm really excited
Absolutely.
about the ease of this program because it is enabling something that's far more accessible than I think we've seen from most of these platforms in the past.
Yes, like talk about democratizing software. Now, I just asked it to create a Douglas fir tree. It's
Right.
going to create a couple of different models. Some of them I may like, and some of them I may not. I'm kind of grooving on this one right now,
I
as
like
well
it.
as this
Yeah.
one, because I can see how it could be stacked nice. If I don't know
Yeah.
what's really happening up here, but I'm going
And
to
a true
choose.
forest has variety. So there might be good reason to include two or three or four different types of trees in a scene.
Absolutely. This one would look really nice stretched up a little bit. So let's start
Mhm.
with this. And remember, like your eye, your senses, you know that that's a little bushy for a Douglas fir and that you might like a
Yeah.
little elongation.
Yeah.
Or you might like this you're only limited by your imagination. So let's say I think the green is a little dull. I'm able to add my own textures. What I really love, and let's take a look at the property panel while this is generating. It just
Mhm.
takes a moment, but it does take a moment. I'm
Yes.
able to bring in some custom fog colors. And let's bring in some funky purple or something fog. What would that look like? Ooh, I kind of see that a little bit. We can boost up the amount here. Fog density. Let's put that at 4 and make it really foggy. Oh, way too much. Let's put that instead at like 1. Oh no. Now it's horrible.
Oh, no, the
Oh
pink fog has
no.
taken over. It's
Let's just take
like
it
a
away.
psychedelic horror movie somehow.
I
Um,
know. Oh
the
my
pink blob.
gosh. Right? But you have to try things and screw around
Yeah.
and like see what different things will happen. You have shadow intensities and whatnot. I've pretty much lost everything right now. And
Mhm.
so control Z or control X, does that work? Yeah. Or does that only work in sorry. Nothing like making something and then screwing around. So where is my seed? It kind of gave me back my. Here we go. There we go. And now I'm on the correct
Now
one.
you're back in. I see.
Yeah. Let's
So
put this
these,
up there.
on the right side are parameters that you have a fair amount of fine-tuning control.
That's right. You do.
Yeah.
You're able to add, like for instance, this tree is just finishing,
Mhm.
and we will change its exposure or make it more bright, or we're also able to change the voice, and all of these create atmosphere. But what we really want, and I know this can kind of take a moment to go through, is these assets generating. Sometimes what I'll do is, sorry if you've been in a meeting with me in the past. You have likely experienced me putting my hands over here and doing a little fiddling on a different computer or switching over, and that's just me prompting another model.
Right. It's
Once
almost like keeping 2 paint canvases going at the same time, like you're doing one thing over here and your creative mind is
oh,
also working on another process.
absolutely. Like today's a rainy day, and today's a perfect day for just like chilling and building a world. This is like the optimal world building time, but I don't know. There's never a time that's not a good time to build a world. So we're saving a model. And here we go. Here we go. We've got our model. Let's bring it in. So now we've got our
Excellent,
model.
excellent. So
We're
then
going to
you're able
put
to
it
just drop that
just
from the library.
yeah, you just drag it in. It's almost like it's too easy, to be honest with you. First of all, I think it's
It's a lot easier than Unity and Unreal for people who are just starting out in 3D and world building. This is a nice way to kind of get your feet wet.
oh, it really is. It really is. Now for just a second, let's open up our property panels and we're going to just brighten this up. Let's make it a 4 in brightness. Well, that will matter once we see it. And we have these control ways we can select, move, rotate, and scale. And let's scale this up. I'm able to select it here, and with my mouse or on trackpad, just glide it larger, or I'm able to use here my scale over in the property panel as well as my rotation. I
All again, all those fine tuning controls. And this honestly, it looks a little bit to me like Roblox, the studio, and a little bit like Unity, and a little bit like some of the things we used to do in worlds like Second Life, where all of this was just sort of baked into the platform itself. Um, it seems like this has been fairly intuitive for you to pick up. Is that right?
It's unbelievably intuitive and easy. And this tree I selected low poly. I don't actually love it. It actually kind of looks like a giant morel mushroom
It
more
does.
than anything. And so, right? So now let's say I'm dissatisfied. Not even making it brighter will make me happy. So let's do something instead. Let's generate a texture. And this is just part of the fun of making. So let's make some uh, green striped, um, bright gum stripes. And you can write something goofy like that. You don't have to be like super like create with this number or color, but you can tell
Right.
it a specific number value.
Got it. So
And
you
you
can
can
get very fine-tuned here, even in the prompt line, or you can use the parameters to
completely,
fine-tune after.
completely. You are in your own flow. So this is, it will tune to the language you care to share with it, whether it's technical, poetic, or intuitive. And
And
this, yeah. Do you have
I'm
any
I
questions?
guess I'm curious about, so you've been in the Horizon ecosystem now for a number of years, and we've heard a lot that, Horizon may or may not continue supporting certain types of experiences, but these worlds are planning to live on not just on the desktop, but on mobile. Is that right?
That's correct. Mobile and desktop, and I think there's an important use case for all.
Excellent. And
Accessibility is a real important factor. And for years, whenever I'd go to an event, I always seem to have my headset with me, and that's fine. But I love just whipping out my phone at an event like AWE or Games for Change and just showing somebody, um, oh, I'm still learning and can't process that asset yet. Is there a different asset I can help you with?
interesting. It
Oh,
struggled to find. We're getting a
green.
comment to try something from
Oh,
one of
good.
our friends, Trisha Blake, in on watching on the stream. Says
Oh,
birds flying in the
fantastic.
sky, or ducks, or swans in the water, or on the shore. So maybe
Ah,
some
let's
birds
do
or
that.
waterfowl next.
Okay, let's make them.
Yeah.
And I'd love to show you how we can make the ducks fly or swim. Would you like that? Or yesterday we were playing, we made a rabbit
We
hop.
did. We made a rabbit
Yeah,
hopping around.
yeah.
So yeah, let's try some
Not giving
ducks or
that
swans in
today.
the water first, because that's probably a little simpler. And then the
Okay.
flying in the sky, you might have to do a little bit more, I would guess, fine tuning on that.
It, it, it is not everything is always immediate. It can be,
Yes.
a conversation that you have in partnership with AI. And I will admit to you, for a while, it took me a while. Um, swans and ducks. Swans and ducks.
All right. Let's see if we get some swans and
Okay.
ducks. I'm
So
a big duck fan.
yeah, it took me a while to learn how to get into and love also working on my desktop in the desktop editor. I really learned how to build worlds in VR
Right.
and mostly collaboratively. And
Mm. In sandboxes with other people.
that's correct.
Okay, so those don't look like real. Oh, but those look
I
real.
like
Ah,
these. Let's just go with this right away. Let's get those ducks going.
okay. Let's see
All
which one
right.
you've chosen, and then once you've chosen it, it's generating. And to be clear, this process could be used for any number of things, but the more detail you give it, the more,
Ooh, I like these too.
hopefully, closer to your content you're going to get. So if you ask for mallard ducks, that sort of thing, and um,
That's
it
correct.
seems like it was able to just sort of give you a good generic baseline of a couple of different choices to pick from.
The only times that I've had trouble with this generator is when I'm using it for an art historical context and I want something a little closer to something in art history that's in a museum. So it will not replicate something. It,
Mhm.
it, it will reject anything that it thinks it might have a copyright issue with.
Right.
And yeah, so it isn't a guilty partner in poor building behavior. It
Got
will
it.
stop
And
someone from.
I want to just step back because I'm going to put a couple of your other builds on the screen, including some of the works you did in the coral reef and in the garden. And these look like
Mhm.
maybe 50 to 100 different assets. Does that sound about right? How many different things do you end up creating when you're building a world?
Oh, well, I'd love to show you before. The thing is, I don't want to interrupt the ducks from
Yeah, we don't want to interrupt
generating.
the docs, but
And when we're
it's a
building in
layering
VR, we
process,
can
right?
whip out assets right and left. And so this way, when I build like this, I'll like spend a chill night watching a movie and generate assets. And then I'll like maybe if I'm building one of like the coral worlds with Tink, we meet in VR, whip out those assets and like get into our intuitive groove. We went to the Minneapolis College of Art and Design together years ago. And so we took like performance art and other classes that kind of led us into an intuitive working way as artists together. So we like get into our artist vibe like that. But if I am like chilling on my own and I'm like watching world events or like the Gatherverse or something, I will often listen to like a speaker from one of our community events and then build a world on my laptop lawn. So what ends up happening is that I have creator tools wherever I am, wherever I'm working. Even on my iPad, I can't build a world in Horizon, but I can create avatar clothing, for instance. And I don't want to sound like, oh my god, I only build on Horizon. I've actually never worked for Horizon or Meta at all.
Right.
Uh, a lot of great people have, and I appreciate all their support for my work and other creators for sure. I think it's really awesome. But I like to just create my own kind of like I also like to sew and create fashion. I also like to paint. I also like to garden. I like
Right.
all creating.
This doesn't replace your artistic process. This adds to the things that you're doing, but you, as an artist, haven't given up your artistic practice to go only vibe code.
Oh no, no,
Yeah.
no, not at all. Not at
This
all.
is
And in fact,
very
I
much
kind of
resonates with
create.
how I create as well.
Yeah, and in fact, if I just did this, oh my God, it's way too slow. I like a lot of immediate gratification. I
Yeah.
also, in my building flow, I I might spend a whole night or a weekend generating assets, and then I've got like a pool of assets. You can see actually I've got these folders, and I'm proud of my organization. So here I've got all oral 3D assets here. For
And
instance,
as I understand it, when you build in this world's desktop editor for Horizon, it's only going to be in Horizon. You can't pull this work out and take it elsewhere, but it's accessible on the
that's not
web.
true anymore.
Oh, is that not
That's
true?
no
Okay,
longer
so
the
what's
case.
happened? How's that changed?
Okay, so as soon as these ducks finish and they're at 88%,
Okay.
we're going to show you how we are able to download that asset. And I'm not going to do this today, but one can then bring it, this asset. It usually is saved without its texture or independently as an independent texture file. And then you can bring those into Blender, retexture it, and then you're
Ah,
able to then
you
uh,
can take things to
bring
Blender.
that.
Can you also take things to Unity as well? I understood that they were working with Unity in some way now, but it's sort of
Yes,
nebulous what's happening there.
I believe that first you need to bring it into Blender and then you can bring it into Unity. Please, someone who's watching or more experienced than I, correct me in the comments.
Great.
But
Yeah.
you're able also then to bring it into VR chat, which a lot of Horizon VR dedicated world builders are doing. Um,
Got
if
it.
you just like art tools like me, you'll build everywhere. But some people just really just want to solo build for VR. And
Right.
gosh, uh, I'm all of a
But
sudden part of MetaStart and learning Unity now. And I was always intimidated by it. But having such a solid foundation of this desktop editor now gives me a great confidence in learning Unity and other desktop. I've led teams in Unreal, I've led teams in Unity, but I've never like really felt confident. But this is a great bridge from learning to build in VR to building in for everything. And
Unity
ultimately,
Light almost, giving you an opportunity to try things in a free environment. That's huge. Like, for those who are just getting started, this might be a path that helps them to onboard to Unity and then to a more interoperable strategy from there.
that's right. That's right. I'd love to see more operability as well as I
Yeah.
like a sense of sovereignty and self-determination. And so seeing people build their own new worlds now is really inspiring, and it inspires me as well. That really, well, look at those little duck's feet. Let's turn our ducky and see. I couldn't really see that those were feet yet because it was too dark. So that first thing I
Ah,
do
so
is
you had
right
to
there.
rotate that guy. It came in weird, but it did come in.
That's right.
And all right.
And in fact, if we tell it to swim or here, let's put their little feet in the water and bring them closer to the shoreline. So we're able to look around using your mouse or your trackpad, and I'm able just with this arrow, like in every whether you're in Engage or anywhere, this is the pretty Unity Blender. You have this toggle right
Right.
or gizmo,
Your
and you just
XYZ being able to move it or to scale it or to rotate it.
exactly,
Mhm,
exactly. And so that's here, rotation position.
mhm.
And if I want to zoom right up, I press the F key.
Great.
Thanks for
And
letting me show you
you
too.
showed me yesterday how you code these experiences, these objects, and that
Yes.
is pretty simple. So let's see if we can make those duckies swim.
Okay. Well, first let's acknowledge their access. The blue here in Horizon is not. Z is up down. here, and that's a little bit different than in Blender, for instance.
Ah,
And the y-axis is like this. So that's going to be important information. Let's ask, and let's just start right here in our Gen AI assistant, and it's going to start a script in VS Code, and then we can take a deeper look there if it's not working well. Okay,
got it.
so
So it's able to then translate from the prompt line to something that might be the animation you're looking for.
absolutely. And because this is a cluster of ducks, let's just ask the ducks to glide forward, right?
Okay, yeah.
And we could get more sophisticated. We could tell it some waypoints, or we could tell it how far to move it forward. So let's just tell it to move forward. Let's just say we can tell it the position by trying this. So we're going to tell it right now we're at Z18, and then we're going to tell it to go forward to 22 or something like that. So those details.
So you might want to send it in a circle to make it swim in a circle, or those.
Oh, let's tell it to go in a circle, like a 5 foot wide circle. That's beautiful.
Hopefully that will work.
So first we see our ducks are just name generated asset, and we can change that. Let's say ducks. Good enough. Oops. Ducks.
There we go.
All right, ducks. And we're just going to say, I'm a Midwest girl, so I still say, please make the asset ducks rotate in a circle that is about 5 feet in diameter.
It will be very interesting to see if it rotates in the circle you want it to, or if they start flying in the air. Will they?
I actually think right now,
because it
I
won't
was
know
nervous that it would just rotate on its current axis.
Yeah, let's see what it does.
But let's just see what it does.
Yeah, this is why experimentation.
It at 5 feet in diameter.
It's interesting that this is free, because there are other tools that you can try things like this in, but they're more expensive because there is some compute cost, right? So I would expect that this couldn't stay free forever, right? There's a cost to Meta to being able to provide this tool. But for now, it's really interesting.
There's always a cost. There's
That's
costs
right.
and rewards, right?
Right?
Rewards can feel like those snacks and hors d'oeuvres they have when you're standing in line at Meta Connect. Those feel like some rewards. Costs can look like, oh no, I was on 3D model still.
Oh, so it sends you a model instead of the action.
Yep.
So let's talk through those tabs there. There's an assistant, there's a model.
That's right. We're going to use the assistant. There's the 3D model. There's the sky, the texture, which rejected us earlier, the sound effects, ambient audio, and the environment generation, which I created this island with. Okay, so let's tell it again. Please make asset ducks.
Trisha says yes to the duck, so we are excited for those. But it sounds like the question that came from Trisha, is it best to keep it relatively simple in your language? I would say simple, but also you need to be defining very specific parameters as well.
Well, you'll learn how to talk to it. Yes, I think it's helpful. You will go faster if you have some sense of Like if I just told it to make it swim in a circle, I might not get the results, but I might or might not. So you can expedite it. When you're working in virtual studio, visual studio,
Yes.
coding there, you can
The VS
actually
Code.
train
Yes.
it on all the parameters of Horizon, and then it sort of knows Horizon what's possible
Right.
and can. So I do a mentorship a couple times a week usually, and one of my mentors created a file that I am able to tell it to reference. For instance, move in a circle from the starting spot in
Okay.
a 5 foot diameter. Okay, let's
All
go.
right. Let's see what it
And
does.
we're starting with the assist, just so that I can show you that there's an entryway and an ease. You do not need to fear. This is actually no different than what I can do that. I will create a script to make an object move in a circle and then apply it to your duck's asset.
Okay,
Great.
great. So
All
it's
right,
then
look,
giving you the
hands
markup.
free.
Okay.
I'm able to like call my mom or make some tea or like move here with you with this really nice music.
Right. So then once you click code and act, it is going to go ahead and encode that action to that object. And it's sort of an object-based programming language that is pretty easy to prompt line. You don't necessarily need to be a coder to use the tool,
That's
which
right.
is really exciting for those artists who feel a little bit daunted by some of the code-based tools.
That's right. That's right. I do have a mentor that does teach me coding, which I super appreciate.
Mhm.
But now we're focused on making sure that my communication with AI is as strong as possible because that is like the way, right? As we evolve, we don't want to, it's really important to like know how to use some of other tools if you wish, but also to be able to go with the flow and the direction of progression. Both are important.
Absolutely. And to be clear, you can do some of these things in Roblox. I've been testing some of this in a rival space, and we'll look at that in an upcoming live stream. There are tools like Frame VR that give you some AI assistant tools in
Yes,
world.
yes.
Um, but this desktop being number one free and number two relatively easy to use for artists makes this much more accessible than most of what we've seen out there in terms of full world building. And it sounds like you can even sort of import certain types of things, like if you have existing assets, and you can sort of bring it all together here the same way you would in a game engine.
That's correct. You're only limited by your imagination. Now
Right.
let's test this out. We're going to enter preview mode. If we can do it thoughtfully by turning the world sim on
Mhm.
and then pressing play, we pop down and ooh, I'm in my workout clothes.
I love it. But now I
Nice.
see our ducks. Look, they're swimming. I see them.
Whoosh, let's go.
Okay, it worked.
Oh, look, Trisha's ducks. I love them. Now we can,
They look like they're swimming backwards, but they do swim.
that's
That's
right.
funny.
But now that's when we would maybe want to go back in and tell it, make sure that the Y is always facing the player, right?
That
So
would do it. So then it will turn automatically to look at the and these are multiplayer experiences, right? Once you publish this, you could meet up with your friends in this place. You can make a learning center or a meditation garden or a place to, host a birthday party and then meet everyone
that's
here.
right.
Right.
That's right.
That's really
There,
fun if you're thinking
you
about.
can have 32 people in a space, and for general people, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, during the pandemic, I built tons of these worlds for things like weddings and funerals. So, I mean, the use cases for something where you want something unique, right? That could be a graduation party. That could be something that is a one-time use or something that you're going to build a clubhouse for your organization that comes back every week.
That's
All of
right.
those are useful options. We have about 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure that I like that you zoomed out so that we could see, like, this is a world that has trees and buildings and environments and a skybox and now ducks. So
Would
that's,
you like to see some
maybe,
other worlds? Some of
yeah.
my other worlds that I've built here in Horizon via this viewpoint. So you can see that you can create audio, you can create skyboxes, you can create assets, you can create environments, you can script, you can even get like, okay, let's say this is how you get to like your serious script. So you go to scripts in this world, dot dot dot, and you can see, oh, we did rabbit hop yesterday, but I'm able to hop over
Did.
and tell me if you see a new window open.
I did. I saw your code window, circular movement.
Okay, so here you go again, and look what's here, an AI assist. So I'm able to continue to communicate in that way.
Right.
And did I have to write all this code? No, not a single line of it. But I'm glad I'm also learning so that I'm able to um, I guess correct mistakes, add things and personalize things, and also like um, be more direct or intentional with my interactions. So
Are you learning to code this way? Like,
I am
is this
learning to
teaching
code
you?
this way. I
Oh,
do. I have through the Meta Horizon Creator Partner Program, I have the generous option to have a mentor. In fact, I had a mentor even last night at like 8 p.m. I like to get their last slot because sometimes we can like groove a little bit more.
got it.
But
So
yeah, yeah.
it
So
seems like some of the spending that Meta did on the metaverse, right? The infrastructure to build worlds. This is well invested as far as tooling. I mean, this is very interesting for artists who don't necessarily feel like they are proficient in code but want to jump in and try new things. Um, it sounds like you've been testing this now for how long? A year or two? In this
mm,
workflow?
yeah, I would say just a year.
Here.
I've been building on desktop. It came out way before, but I was resistant and I liked just building in VR.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm doing all kinds of things. Like right now, this is one of my mentors is teaching me this throw and grow script, for instance, and I'm writing the script. I didn't vibe code it. It's
Got it.
all handwritten,
So
and that
procedural, you can also do some procedural art here if you're thinking about making code that can generate different types of sparkles and effects and sprites and things like that. It sounds like that might be an option too.
well, we're going to go into my new test world, and I'm going to show you how proud I am
Oh, great.
of
I love
something
this.
that I learned
And
how
we
to
got a
script
I
all
love
in
this
my
from the comment line in the chat as well. So, thank you for joining us live, and for those of you who are watching this recording, we're glad that you're here with us. I'm
yes.
Evo Hating. This is Paige Dansinger, and Paige, you also curate. So you are curating currently the Vibrancy as Praxis with the XR Women. You've done this thing called Remix Reef, which
That's
was for the
correct.
reality hack. Is that right?
Yes, yes, yes. It
And
wanted
then
a
lots of
community.
coral worlds as well as undersea and garden and abstract worlds. You've been taking ideas from nature and then sort of busting them out in new ways.
That's right. And look, this doesn't look like anything right now, but it's going to be magnificent. So,
It has an Alice in Wonderland or a Dr. Seussian vibe to me, right? Like that
oh
sort of
yes.
playfulness that
So I'm going to run up to
surrealism
my
can give us.
reef, and I'm going to wind it up, and I'm going to throw it. And look, there was haptic, sound and particle effect and choral grew. Now we're going to do it again. Let me get behind it. There we go. So,
You're clearly inspired to make lots of interesting and unusual things and to take us outside of the usual experience we have with nature, to maybe make it more not just playful, but to make it feel different to us, right? To maybe make it feel more I don't know, what are the words you use when you try to describe an experience like this?
well, immersive, multidimensional, and really like hands-on. Like what you're doing right now is by throwing what will be a coral polyp. Right now it's a ball, but eventually it'll be a coral polyp. You'll have a learning experience of like hands-on planting coral. I'm currently in a game design program called Game Plan for Museums by Games for Change. And I'm really trying to explore how my core mechanics lead to a learning objective of some kind. And in this case, it would be the sense of empowerment that you're a catalyst for change, and you do not have to be subject to ocean acidification. Your hands, you can plant polyps, you can get involved, and you can grow coral.
So oh my goodness, I see what you mean. Okay, so you literally just threw that ball and grew coral.
That's right.
That was an interaction that you built while doing the Coral Reef project.
That's right. And my script looks like this.
Right.
Sorry to go off about this. Oh my gosh, let's go into...
That's super cool for a teacher that wants to model tree planting with their students or to do a science experiment in a way.
That's right. That's right. So these are all the scripts in the world. There's an animation manager that manages the way these coral grow. There's a manager of the manager. There's a player manager, so that you have player persistent variables, and it knows what I did versus somebody else. There's the throw and grow that created the action mechanic, and the world library. So all these things, and then here's my current hierarchy. But that is just like a test place, and I know that this we're probably at time.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
But so you've now done a number of these worlds over the last year as an artist, and it seems like some of them are story-based, some of them are nature or educational or just creative and artistic, right? Experimental.
Yeah.
And all of it's art to you.
I've built, like well over 300 worlds in Horizon.
Wait, how many?
Well, for a while it said 730 something over my name, but I think that includes like collaborations and unpublished worlds. Now it says 300 and something, like maybe 390 or 360.
That's epic. I mean,
I'm assuming
I think I've built maybe 4 worlds, and as I've built XR Guide, most of the artists I talk to have built maybe 10. I mean, I think in my entire career I've built under 100 worlds, right? But you're prolific. This is extremely prolific work.
Super prolific. It's true. It's true. Maybe it's because I live where it's cold, but I do have I probably build all these worlds if I lived somewhere warm too, but winter is a great time. Sorry for all these signs. I got it like a glow up.
You have to build that too.
They were like, your world needs more signage. How do people do it? So I tried to make a little sign wall, but I'm kind of repelled by it.
Understood. And I think we might have lost Paige just now, so we are going to be wrapping up this stream relatively shortly. But it is great to see all of you here. Again, my name is Evo from XR Guide, and you are welcome to find all of these worlds and much more in the XR Guide. We do keep our WebXR experiences as well as our stories and collections all together. You can see some of the worlds I experiment with, including Arrival Space, where we're going to look at next week, as well as curated collections for music lovers, art lovers, any type of museum experience, teen experiences, and more. We have a number of different exciting releases coming out, and we encourage you to jump on to xrguide.app if you want to check those out. We would love to have you anytime. And also, for those of you who are looking for Paige's work, we have a couple of different places you can find that work, but certainly jump on XR Guide. You can go to xrguide.app and check that out. The work that Paige and I do together curating at the Virtual Worlds Museum, you can find at virtualworldsmuseum.com. And then if you are looking for Paige's unique work, you can find Paige at paigedansinger.com. Now, that is her artistic work, and you will see quite a bit of different types of works there in her painting life as well as in her virtual worlds life. Again, my name is Evo Haining. This livecast has been produced by myself, Evo, at RealityCraft, on behalf of the team, both at XR Guide and at the Virtual Worlds Museum. So we hope that you will reach out and let us know where we could support you along the way. It has been so lovely to spend time with you here, just showing how we build different types of worlds and experiences and publish those and make them easy to find. So again, jump on xrguide.app if you want to find more of these types of experiences in all different platforms. Maybe Meta is not the right place for you, but you can go and find anything that suits you. And thank you to our audience today. It's been really great to see all of you. Thank you to those of you who are leaving comments. Trisha, I want to give you a shout out. Thank you for all that you do in this industry. And I don't know if Paige is going to be able to rejoin us, so I'm going to go ahead and stop our screen share. But if you're looking to do this kind of world building on your own in other spaces, we hope that you will reach out. My work at Evo at RealityCraft will focus specifically on world building and strategy and how to go from idea to production. And then find artists like Paige to work with, artists that understand your vibe and your media and the storytelling that you are looking to do, because there's so many different ways to create worlds out there. And the capacity of these tools right now is relatively infinite. So today we looked at the desktop builder for Horizon and Meta. Next week, we're going to look at Arrival Space and live coding and vibe coding, if you like that word, vibe coding in Arrival Space. And we're going to keep going with some of these different platforms because, as many of you have noted, it is becoming easier and easier to build 3D immersive worlds. The things that used to take me hundreds of hours to do in a single world can now be done in a period of a couple of hours, and that's going to continue to shrink. So if this is your first time thinking about a creative experience with virtual worlds or 3D immersive environments, number one, know that they can live on the web as well as in mobile. They don't have to be just VR anymore. And certainly, it's great to work with amazing artists, people like Paige, who understand both your ideas and how to bring them to life in clever or fun or interesting ways. So we hope that you'll continue to reach out and let us know where we can support you. Again, my name is Evo at RealityCraft. You can find our work at xrguide.app. And you can also find me at Evo RealityCraft here on YouTube or on social media. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you will click the like and subscribe button and let us know what you would like to see in a future live cast. Drop a comment below and reach out if we can support you in any way. Thank you for joining us.